everyone, welcome to the Henspeckle podcast episode 3. My name's Jacqueline.
I'm also Jacqueline, and we're a mother and daughter team from a small town just outside Edinburgh.
What are we doing? Finished objects?
Finished objects first?
I have got one scarf-like finished object, so you could go first then.
Will I go first?
Yes.
Well, I'm wearing one. This scarf has been in the making for, I don't know how long. Possibly since the beginning of the year, if not last year. And it's a crochet scarf done in feather and fan pattern, or if you're from Shetland it's called Old Shale. And it's so easy to do and it's lovely. And this is in merino. And I've used several shades of blues and greens, and it reminds me of, you know, when you're down at the beach and you see the waves coming in and all the different blues and colours and the foam on the waves. So I've called this one Spindrift, this particular colour combination. So I probably will do that again, and it's so cosy.
Yes.
It's a lovely warm scarf. Merino always is, of course.
And the colours are absolutely gorgeous, and they are very beachy, I think.
Well, I do have other colourways in mind,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm quite looking forward to maybe making up samples of them.
Yes.
I can't remember if I did this as a single. I think I did. I think this was a single. It must have been because the colours are separate. And probably a size 4.5, 5 hook.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be fingering weight singles. But it's come out nicely, it's lovely.
And you could make it longer if you wanted.
You can make it longer, yes, you just have to spin some more yarn.
Okay.
Make sure you have spun plenty yarn for it.
But also, could you use, if say you're not a hand spinner, could you use store-bought yarn?
Yes, absolutely.
If it's plied? Does it have to be a single?
The only reason my one is single is because I wanted to maintain this colour separation, where it goes from one colour to the other. But I'm sure a space-dyed yarn, a shop-bought one, would be perfectly good. You don't even have to have it as a space-dyed one. Anything that shows up the pattern would be equally as good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very simple pattern to do.
I would like to do one of those.
Would you?
Yes.
But you can't crochet yet.
No, but in my head I can, and I've already started. No, I would like to learn how to crochet. You said you'd teach me.
I will teach you, and this would
Okay.
be quite a good one to do once you get the basics.
Is it beginner friendly, would you say?
Not particularly beginner friendly,
Right.
but because you have to watch, there are, I think you can probably see there, the reason the pattern comes out as it is with, I'll show you the edging. The edge is scalloped purely because of the pattern itself with increases and decreases across the one row, and that creates this lovely scalloped edge. So once you get the hang of that and put the decreases and increases in the proper place, it's a breeze to do. Lovely, and comes up quickly.
Yes.
Crochets up very quickly.
What is that other scarf we talked about on the last episode? It was also crochet.
Oh, the V-scarf.
V-scarf.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
the
that
V-scarf
beginner
is-
friendly?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you
It's
think
brilliant.
I could do that?
You could do that.
Okay.
You just have to watch where you increase, what side you increase at, and what side you decrease. And as you know, the weather has been colder here.
Yes.
It's been very wet.
Yes.
And I have been fortunate enough to wear my V-scarves.
I know, I've seen you.
I couldn't wait.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's your first finished.
That's my first finished object.
My first one, I'm wearing it. This is another sort of surprise one that I did. I had a whole lot of, I can't even remember what's in this blend. It was bamboo, merino, silk, tussa silk. I think there's some alpaca in here as well. And I spun it and decided, because dark red is my favourite colour, and I thought this would be lovely as a boneyard shawl. So here it is, my second boneyard. and I'm very, very pleased with this.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I don't know if you can really see the differentiation in the colours, but there's little flashes of silk and tussa. Well, tussa is silk. Red silk, red bamboo. You can see it in person, black silk. And I modified this slightly at the edge. I mean, does Stephen West do the eyelet edge? I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
No.
I know it's an increase at the edge as well as in the middle. No, I don't think Stephen West does that eyelet edge.
I've still got the ridges, which can you see?
It's a pity we're both wearing black
I know,
colours.
I know it's not showing up well at all. There's a ridge here, and in between each ridge I've done a row of eyelets, which I thought looked really good. And in the middle, this is an increase, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
In the middle here, Stephen West does not do eyelets either side of the middle part. I did eyelets. You can barely see.
I think he does left and right increases.
Yes.
Knit-wise.
But yeah, I've put eyelets.
It's a pity we're so dark clothing. Oh, well.
Doesn't matter. I'll try and take a photo of it later.
Yes,
if
that
I
would be
remember.
a good idea.
But yeah, I'm very pleased with that.
Yeah, it's lovely. Feels lovely.
It's warm. It's soft. It's red. What more could I want? I should also mention, in episode 1 of my works in progress was a green Boneyard shawl, and I did say that I thought it was too dark, and I was right. It
Did
was,
you?
yeah. I didn't continue that. In fact, I frogged it.
Oh, that's the one you took
Frogged
down
it
again. Yeah.
and turned it into, as you'll see later, one of my works in progress, which is socks. Still unfinished. But yeah, that's that. So this is my second Boneyard shawl. The green one is no longer, and
Did you not do one that had 2 shades of green?
Yeah, that was the first one I showed.
That was the first one. You liked that one?
I did like that one.
Yeah, it was nice.
So that's all of my finished shawl projects. Do you have something else?
I have another thing. Now, I talked about this, I don't know which episode it
Last one.
Was it the last one? And my little dog is highly allergic to wool, or any sort of wool derivative. So he has to wear non-wool. And this blend I had made from one of our fibre suppliers, and it's bamboo, silk and eco-nylon. Bio-nylon. Yeah, well, it is eco anyway. Eco-bio.
Some say.
And I made him the Puchikeen sweater by Beth Irala. I'm sorry if I've not pronounced your name properly.
I'm sure she's tuning in and will be
obviously
appropriately unhappy about that.
I'll be getting a smack on the hand. And this is the Puchikeen sweater for my little dog. This is size medium. The only modification I made was, I don't know if I can see that properly, in between the legs for the chest area. It was quite narrow, but as I said before, my little dog is a sort of oblong shape, and he has a broad chest, so I've increased a few more stitches into the chest area. It's a wonderful sweater, and it fits so nicely. It's all done in the round, apart from this bottom part where you knit back and forwards, obviously, because that's the flap that goes over his back. But the ribbing for that part of the body is in the round, and I spun this up to a worsted weight, or you could use probably a heavy DK, and size 4mm needles for the ribbing and 4.5 for the body. But you can see the colours, they're lovely, and they're exactly him because he's pale with white hair, and I think he'll suit that. I haven't managed to get it on him yet. We will have a try and post a picture.
Hopefully we can insert a picture here of the dog wearing it.
Yes.
But when you say square chested, it's not like he's a walking rectangle.
Well, not really. It does
not.
have shape, but that is what they are supposed to be for a small dog. He is classed as a toy dog, but he's very long in the body. Not as long as the other little dog we have, the Dachshund. She is very long in the body, but my one isn't as long, but he has got a much longer body than would normally fit a medium size. So I usually have to make things longer for him. So I hope he'll enjoy wearing that because it is getting colder.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
So our next finished objects are socks. It has been a very busy month for sock knitting. As soon as I discovered it wasn't terrifying and it wasn't all that difficult, I have really taken off with the socks. So how many have you got? I've got 2.
I've got 3 pairs of socks.
Oh, you would have. Okay, you go first.
Okay, well my first pair are these. This is West Yorkshire Spinners and it's fingering weight, and I believe the colourway is Mallard, and oh, it's lovely to work with, beautiful yarn. So 2 socks finished, proof.
What size of needles?
Size of needles, I usually use 2.25s for fingering weight. Some patterns say 2, but I find 2.25 is much nicer to wear. And it's a fleagle heel, and the gusset part brings you back up to your normal stitches. So I think it was 64 stitches I had. And just a simple 1-1 rib, cast off with, oh no, is it Jenny's stretchy cast off? Or Jenny's stretchy bind off?
Stretchy bind off, I think.
Yeah, I think it is, and it's fantastic. It makes a lovely loose cuff. So I don't like anything too grippy.
What's the colourway called?
Mallard.
Oh, Mallard.
Mallard. Although on the ball band it doesn't say Mallard. It gives you a number. But I'm sure on the website it does say Mallard. So and that's the other sock all done.
They're so nice.
They will be so welcome for this weather coming. So that's my one.
My first pair is this flashy little number. That's just to show I have actually completed at least 1 pair of socks. So this is 3.5 Addi Sock Wonder. Started off with KnitPro Turbos 3.5mm, and this is, the yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab DK, and the stripy part is Moonlight Grey, and I'm sure this colour is Pear green. I think it's Pear. It was 64 stitches.
Yeah. Did you do top down on that one? Cuff down?
This was cuff down, yes, because of the pleasing heel, which I
yes, you like that heel.
Not been able to get again with toe up. And it's a 20 row. What is this? Rib. I know exactly what I'm talking about. 20 row rib. This is about 50. Pretty sure this was 50. And then it's a heel flap and gusset, is it not?
It is.
Finally, I've got a term right. Plus the increases, or is that decreases here?
Decreases.
Decreases, I was almost correct. And toe. And Pear green.
A normal wedge toe.
A normal wedge toe. That's my first pair. Very pleased with these. They fit. And is this the Crazy Sock Lady pattern? I think it is.
This, yes.
Yeah, Vanilla DK.
The Vanilla DK.
Yeah, she has. It's so easy to follow now. Because I've made a few pairs, I think I know vaguely what I'm doing. And I really only need help doing the heel turn. But apart from that, I'm good to go with socks.
You've done very well with your socks. You've taken to it like a duck to water.
Duck to water. Yeah. Okay. What's your second pair?
My second pair is this one. 2 socks. I have no idea what the yarn is. You thought it might be Regia.
I'm pretty sure that's some sort of Regia.
I think it might be West Yorkshire Spinners. I'm not at all sure. In fact, this one is actually, I prefer toe up. I don't really like doing cuff down. So this is toe up. And this one, I don't know if you can see very well, is the one where you have the heel flap on the bottom of the sock instead of down the back of the heel. And this works perfectly well, and it gives you the extra room if you have a high instep. So I do it sort of reverse way round. Heel flap, decrease in the gusset, turn the heel of course, and up the leg to the cuff. So, but I've no idea what this wool is, but it's lovely. My usual toe up and nice, not loose tension, but comfortable tension.
But
pleased
sorry,
with those.
does that make the heel more hard wearing?
No, but funnily enough, we were looking at one of the books that I have upstairs, and they're all toe up patterns, and there is one that has the slip stitch reinforced heel up the back, so I'll need to look at that and see how they've done that one,
because the pair that
we'd like to do that.
One of my works in progress, I am kind of disappointed with it because I think the heel is not going to stand up to the test of any sort of time at all, and I would prefer a sort of reinforced heel, which I think you do get with the heel flap and gusset.
Yes, it is more hard wearing, I suppose. Yeah, I do like the reinforced heel. It's a good one.
Yes. So
you have more socks?
I do have more completed socks. This is my second pair. There's the partner, a full pair of socks. And what can I say about this? It was disappointing for me, but not so much for you. This yarn is Rowan Softyak DK, and it's primarily cotton based with some yak and some nylon in it. The pink colourway is Steppe. I made a hitchhiker shawl in the last episode with this, and it's absolutely lovely, and I thought it would be good for socks. And the grey, this grey, it was another Softyak DK, originally in a beautiful cream colour, which I sort of destroyed. I wanted it to be black. I used Dharma True Black on it, and not knowing that cotton dyes completely differently, it turned into this nondescript grey. So I made these socks following the same pattern as the Crazy Sock Lady, medium size, 64 stitches. It's a 15 row rib, heel flap and gusset, and coloured wedge toe. Would have been fine. Tried it on, discovered it was in fact too small, because who knew that cotton doesn't really have much give in it, and as it transpires, I'm an extremely tight knitter. They're lovely socks, I like them very much, but they were not for me at the end of the day. So, happy birthday.
Yes, thank you very much.
These are your birthday socks.
Yes, it was my birthday last month, so
yeah,
that was a nice present.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, my last pair of socks are these. 2 socks. The yarn is from John Arbon, and
the fibre is.
The fibre was Appledore, and I think this one was called Cabernet. They're all named after varieties of apple, and this one, although it's very subtle, you can see there are little smacks of colour in there, russets, darker greys. It's really lovely, and I spun that up to a DK weight yarn and my usual toe up, and I decided this is a little pattern that I've used quite a lot in the past if I'm doing a cable sweater and I want to divide up the different cables. It's just a 2-stitch cable, very very simple. You don't even need a cable needle. You just go into the second of the cable stitches, knit it through into the first stitch and slip them both off, and you get this almost automatic little cable. So I thought, okay, well this is unusual for me because I prefer plain socks, so I did the might be easier if I take it off to see the instep. Here is the instep stitches from the toe coming up all the way up, and basically it's a tutu rib, so it's quite a stretchy fabric. And then it continues at the back of the heel all the way up the leg. So this is my favourite one, I think, heel flap and gusset in reverse. So I'm quite looking forward to wearing these. I've not had them on, of course, but the weather is getting colder, so they'll be on quite soon.
So how hard is it to do this rib?
It's not hard at all. I might do a little short maybe to put in about just doing this rib, but not on grey wool. Probably be easier to see on a cream or a light coloured, yeah.
Yes.
But it's not hard at all. I crossed mine every 4th row. So, and that was enough, but you can cross it, well, maybe not every other row, but maybe every 3rd or 4th or even 5th rows. You can also, I don't know if that would be obvious, instead of having the 2 purl in between, you have the 2 sets of cable rows together, and I think you can cable one way and a second set of 2 a different way, and it starts to look like a bigger cable, a larger cable. So that's something to look into as well.
Yes. Yeah, they're nice. So, I would like to do something like that.
I think they'll be quite hard wearing. It feels a bit rustic.
Yes.
I'm sure it'll soften up as they're washed.
I mean, John Arbon yarn, well, John Arbon fibre, it spins beautifully. I very much like it. And as soon as you wash it, once you've used it in a project and you think it's perhaps a bit rustic, as soon as you wash it, it really softens up.
Soften up. Yeah. This is all English wool, and I think I used 3.25 needles. My favourite cubics. 3.25 cubics for these.
See, I'm having to go up a size in needles for my socks.
You're a very tight tension.
I know. But I like things to be neat.
Yes, well, although we measured your tension on your last pair of socks, and you had gone up a needle size, and your tension was exactly right. It was exactly what it should be.
So what you're saying is I need
you need to go up. You need to go up a needle size.
So what did you use for these? 3.25?
3.25s.
I've been using 3.5s for DKs.
But the thing that I can't do is use the Sock Wonder needle. I cannot use them.
That's blasphemy. I absolutely adore the Sock Wonder.
Yes, isn't that weird?
And also, what's the other one? Zing. Is that KnitPro?
The Zing.
KnitPro Zing. It's a 10-inch circular needle. One needle is longer than the other side of the needle, so it's so easy for doing socks. You just go round and round and round and don't have to worry about changing needles or anything.
You're quite fast at that, but
I
couldn't get any speed up at all, and then I ended up with pins and needles in my hands, so I was obviously doing something wrong.
I think you just find the whole thing frustrating because you're so used to knitting fast.
Yeah.
You don't like being hobbled.
I don't like this. No, I'm a lever knitter and I do knit fast.
See, I don't know any different, so
no,
I can just do it.
Well, probably because you got into the Sock Wonder straight away almost. You've not known any different, so
that's right.
So you're good at them.
Like a child in the wilderness, unknowing. Works in progress we're doing, and mine are mostly socks. I've got 4 pairs. It's just sock mad. The first one I finished. I showed this in episode 1 or 2. I've lost track entirely. This was no, it must have been episode 2 because this was the Boneyard shawl.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
that I ripped down, and it's now reliving in a pair of socks. I've completed one sock, and again following the Crazy Sock Ladies pattern, 64 stitches, heel flap and gusset, 20 row rib.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is why it's taking me so long. I did it top down. This one took forever.
That's right, I remember you saying.
Possibly a whole month. And the yarn I made myself, it was alpaca, tussa silk, bamboo, mulberry silk, more bamboo and merino.
You like to cram the fibres in, don't you?
I do, because it's a lovely shade of green and you can see little flashes of colour here and there. And I very much like that. And that's living in... This is my Clara Rose Spells and Potions? Do you know what? I'll just write the name of the bag. I've entirely forgotten. It might have been Charms and Potions or Spells and Charms, or it could be any number of things, and it's Harry Potter based. I showed this in the last episode as well. And this is the progress I've made on the second sock. So quite a lot to go, and the progress is very slow.
But that's a Sock Wonder wool you're still using, is it?
This is a Sock Wonder needle, and what size is it? 2.5 Addi Sock Wonder, or Sock and Wunder if you want the German. And I really, really like this, but you say the needles are too blunt, don't you?
Yes. Well, for me they are. If you started off with blunt needles, you won't know any difference. But
say that like I'm an idiot.
No, it's because it's probably better that you've started off with those, because then you won't... Well, I would be disappointed because I like sharp needles.
Yes, you do like sharp needles.
I do. Sharper the better.
Well, that was my first pair of socks. Okay, second pair. This is definitely DK. I know it's DK because I'm using 3.5 needles. Oh no. These are two totally different socks. But I'm using the same yarn.
They're not really. I think you're imagining things.
Let me start again.
Two totally different socks, right.
This is a work in progress. DK, I'm using 3.5 needles. 64 stitches.
If it's DK it won't be 64, it'll be 48.
It's 48 stitches, not the 64 previously advertised. The yarn, you spun this yarn and I took it from you.
You did, you took it.
Because you stupidly left it lying. And as we all know, possession is 9/10, and you did not possess it at the time. So I took it and I did the cuff, the rib bit in there. It's a 2-2 rib. This I spun myself. It's a very dark red, and as I was going down I thought, this is just a bit plain. So I decided to do 3 stripes of varying widths. I think the first one is for...
Was that intentional or did it just happen?
It was unintentional. First one is 4 rows, second one is 5, and I think the third one is 6. And you could say that's, a pleasing progression. Contrast heel, contrast toe, which I was somewhat disappointed with because I thought it needed more colour. So I should have started that a few rows earlier.
I've noticed that people sometimes start a lot sooner than we start. You started when you started the decreases for the toe. Yes, but I know some people start a lot sooner than that, and it gives you a nice contrast toe. I
feel that's something you perhaps should have pointed out before I got to this bit.
I don't do contrast toes.
But they're lovely.
They are lovely. I only started doing them because you wanted to do them. But I was none the wiser either. So.
Because I needed guidance. And this yarn is so soft. It's merino, just plain merino for a change. There's nothing nothing exceptional in it. Pretty sure this was a John Arbin blend.
The what?
The merino.
That merino
The
one?
dark red merino.
I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called. If I find out, I'll put it below. This, you hand dyed this.
That was hand dyed, yeah.
Yeah, and I liked it because it was white and pink and not just plain pink. And then this other monstrosity that I showed earlier is using the same yarn, 48 stitches, and I decided to do this as the contrasts and just keep a plain one after I discovered I had to weave in the ends, I thought it was far too much work to actually do more stripes.
So you're not having a second one of that
Yes,
stripe?
yes,
You are?
Yes. How can I wear two totally different socks?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I thought to myself, I don't recall seeing that stripy one, the second one, being made.
No, I've started. I'm so confused. So this is two pairs of
Right,
socks.
so there will be
There'll be a
matching
partner to
sock
this and
for
a
each.
partner to this.
Alright, well that's cleared that up.
I've already begun this bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this is instructional for everybody watching.
How to totally confuse yourself, yeah.
My advice going forward is don't cast on about 8 pairs of socks at one time. No matter how enticing the thought might be, to see all these socks in progress, just don't do it. Don't do it. Shall I do my other socks?
Yeah.
Or do you, okay.
No, you carry on with yours.
Right, so for my next pair of socks, yes, there's another. It is this. Oh, look at it. This is for my brother. It's his birthday coming up in October. Well, this is October. Hopefully it's finished by then. Otherwise it'll be Christmas. And I'm using West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab DK. This is 64 stitches.
Is it not 56 stitches
I don't know.
for DK because you're doing the large size? You see, I feel you're maybe doing
Yes.
too many socks of different weights.
You're right. I'm doing far too many socks and I'm so confused by all the socks.
And
It's
this
just
is toe up, this one.
it's perplexing to me, entirely perplexing.
I think you should stick to one pair of socks at a time.
But that's just dull, like these socks.
Mm.
This, he said he liked grey and black, so grey socks. I did toe up, and how many stitches? Was it 28?
Oh,
Yeah, it must have been because it was half. Oh no, what's half?
No, 14.
14. Terrible at maths.
Mm-hmm.
14 increased to 28, and then it's 56 stitches.
A fleagle.
Just a fleagle heel. And the rib is about 20 rows.
Yeah, I think you said 20.
20 rows, because I didn't know how much yarn I was going to need for both, but as it turns out I had to get 2 balls for one pair of socks. That's
Were these
okay.
100-gram balls?
They were 100 grams, and these they're huge. Look at it.
Taking quite a lot of yarn.
Yes, but the toe is good. I'm happy with the toe on this, and it's going to fit him. So there's that one. And this is all the progress I've made on the second one. The toe increases have just been completed, and I've dropped a stitch. I'm on to the Addi Sock Wonder. These are 3.5 needles. This was also done on 3.5s, and I began with KnitPro Turbos for the toe and also the rib. But when you go onto the Sock Wonder, you don't get a ladder or anything, which I really like.
Yeah.
So those pair will be completed within the next couple of days. I might also have time to do a black pair. Maybe not, because
I can see you being really happy about that.
it's just so dull. I mean, I like black. You can see, I like black. I like wearing black, and I'm happy to wear black socks. Creating black socks, however, is a totally different story.
Trying it. I could maybe do the black ones then.
But then it won't be from me, it'll be from you.
But he won't know that.
Or we could both do one.
Oh no, because that's a recipe for disaster. One sock one size and one the other.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, just you carry
Well,
on
we'll
with
see.
the black ones.
We'll see.
Well, my socks in progress. I've only started this one. Well, got as far as the heel, which I'm quite pleased about. It's Regia. Let's have a look. It is Regia, and it's the design line.
Oh yes, that's lovely.
And Arne and Carlos have designed the colour combinations, and it's absolutely beautiful. The way the colours are coming out, it's gorgeous. Even on the heel part where you know it goes a sometimes goes a bit odd because you're working a big stretch of the heel flap, but it's lovely. And this one is Fall Night. Now it doesn't say that on the label. The colourway for this label is a number. Have I got the number there? Oh, it's maybe back to front.
I think it'll come out the
It'll
right way
come
round.
out the right way round. The number is 03655. But on the website, where did we get this from? Was it the Sock Yarn?
Sock Yarn shop.
We'll
online.
find it and put it the details underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But it calls it Fall Night,
Mm-hmm.
and it's lovely. And they do have quite a few colourways, do they?
They have loads. That
they've got
that
loads.
online shop was such a great discovery.
Oh, well, I'm really liking this. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing my heel flap and gusset toe up as normal. It's Addi, and they're lace needles.
Oh, these are the very pointy
and
ones.
These are extra pointy. Oh, they're absolutely brilliant because I love really sharp needles, and just zip along on this, no bother at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really pleased with that. These live in my Clara Rose bag. Beautiful. I can't remember what that one's called. Is it something about stars, moon and stars?
We're
We're
terrible at the names,
Remember.
but we will put it below,
But
and
look,
I'll put it up on the
all
screen.
the lovely little attachments, and I keep my stitch markers on there. So that is my only socks in progress. Well, that brings me on to the book I was talking about with the toe up and the reinforced heel. This is the book that it came from, and it's an absolutely fantastic book. It has lots of socks patterns in, all toe up, and I think it does them. I think there's even a worsted weight one, but most are fingering sport weight. Let's see, what does it say? Superfine. That's, well, we don't call it superfine in Britain, do we? What do we call it?
Lace weight?
It might be lace.
I think it's lace.
Lace. Anyway, it's number one. The grading number one. But lovely patterns. Look
Yes.
I mean, that is just gorgeous. Lace pattern. I think there's some cable ones in it too. Absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to do some from that.
Yes, so who is that book by?
This book is by Wendy D. Johnson. So we'll put those details.
Yes, I'll put the details
down below.
below.
I'm sure I got this from Amazon. I pretty much get everything from Amazon.
Yeah.
It's just too easy to start looking through and decide, oh, I'll have that. So that's that one. So that was that.
What?
Are you on another sock?
No.
Oh no.
I do have. While I'm showing this, you could get your stuff ready.
Oh, them works in progress.
Yeah.
Oh, I've still got another work in progress.
There's still works in progress going on and on and
Yeah,
on.
there is.
This, I feel that I just did myself no service at all when last episode I said cut to me 4 weeks later when I've made absolutely no progress on this, and lo, here I am 4 weeks later, very little progress. This is my second hitchhiker shawl by Martina Bem, and it's my own hand spun wool. It's here is my progress keeper, so I've done about 10-15 rows maybe. A lot of progress made there, really not, because I started doing socks. And I feel this is just,
I know,
languished in its bag. This is the Ravenclaw bag by Amelia X Joy. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a very sturdy bag and I'm so pleased with it. And I've got this much yarn left, which is a lot. This is bamboo, alpaca, tussa silk, more bamboo, tweed, merino.
Are you sure that's all that's in it?
There could be more. I'll put the yarn content below as well. And
These
these
are lovely.
are, I think they're 4.5 needles, or are they 4s?
Oh, these are symphonies.
Symphonies, circular needles. Oh, it tells you there, but I can't read it.
Oh, neither can I.
3.5.
It looks like 3.5. Or is it 4.5?
It's either 3.5 or
Oh,
4.5.
it
I'll
has
also
worn
put that
off.
below. Yeah.
What we should have is our needle gauge.
Yes, we should, but we don't.
That's something else to talk about.
So, you saw this the last time, and sadly there's very little progress. I've let myself down.
Yeah.
And I will endeavour you know what, I'm going to finish the socks and then do this and then not start anything else in the interim.
Well, we'll see how that works out.
You've
I'm not convinced.
No, neither am I, because I've already got future plans for some more socks. So I'm finished.
Your one finished. Well, I shall talk about my ongoing.
Yes.
I think I said something before. I was planning on doing a cardigan with my own handspun yarn, and I didn't enjoy it. I was halfway down the first sleeve or the second sleeve, and I decided didn't like the texture. It was too stiff and close, so I ripped it all down. And then I started the Sunday cardigan. Oh, is that petite knits?
I think so. I can't.
Yes,
remember.
I'm sure it is. And I went up a needle size. I was using size 6s because I'd actually intended my yarn to be worsted, and it became bulky, and then it became a wee bit more bulky once it was washed. So I decided no. I started out working on as a size 6mm needle, and I thought, no, that's not working. I'll go up to 7, and oh, it's made such a difference. Absolutely fantastic.
You've done loads.
I have done loads. Well, that's because going up the needle size has made such a big difference. And this is the Sunday cardigan, tin can knits, as I said.
Petite knits.
Petite knits. And done all the yoke, and it's an absolute breeze to do. It's so well written. And on this occasion I thought, I'll actually do the sleeves first, and that way I'll know I'll have enough yarn to finish the sleeves. So that's what I did, 2 sleeves, and it's hard to see because it's such a big cardigan, but I'm pretty much halfway down the body now, but you can see the variation in colour in this yarn. It's called lap waste, but it's not waste yarn. It's absolutely perfectly good fibre that gets left over from different blendings or spinnings at the fibre mill, and they just blend it all up into a big bat. Is it a bat, or
I don't know.
I can't remember what I spun them from. So you do get this lovely different gradation in the colour, and I'm so pleased with it. And here we are, big long needle length. I'm not sure, they are 7mm, but I can't remember what length the actual circular needle is. So I'm just knitting along, and I'm on one ball of wool, well, that one, and there's another one of equal size, if not bigger.
Is that all you've got left?
That's what I've got left, but I mean, I've done quite a lot. You can see that from under the arm I've done, well, there's under the arm, and I've done that much. So I do like a long cardigan.
Yeah.
So I'll do it as long as I want the body to be, and if I have extra yarn left over, I might do an afterthought pocket. Oh no, it's so easy because I love pockets just for pushing a tissue or something in. And I don't know if anybody watches Kia's podcasts, and she's absolutely brilliant. She comes up with some wonderful ideas, and in one of her podcasts she showed you how to do an afterthought pocket, very much like an afterthought heel in a sock. So I shall try and find that podcast and follow the instructions if I have enough yarn left.
You put pockets on absolutely everything.
I do, because I love pockets. I mean, I'm carting up so much stuff with me. Tissues, my little dog has to have drops in his eyes about 6 times a day, so the drops sometimes are in the pocket. What else do I put in my pocket?
Well, does it matter?
Oh, lots of things.
We don't need the details, quite
No,
frankly.
but pockets are useful.
Yes.
So have you any more?
No.
No?
No,
Oh, wow.
I have completed, well, I've completed very few things and got several on the needles.
Well, I'll do this one next. This is supposed to be a surprise for my son's birthday, but he's seen me knitting it, but I don't think
he doesn't know what it is.
He hasn't actually twigged what it is. It's a beanie. Now, unfortunately, as Jacqueline said, he only likes black or grey. So I'm doing a black beanie, and it's so difficult to see with this. This is going to be a double thickness brim. No, you can't even see that. That's terrible.
You can see the ribs.
German twisted cast on. I thought I would never get the hang of that. It was absolute nightmare. I watched so many podcasts and little videos on YouTube. I thought, no, I can't do it. And then I discovered this wonderful lady, Suzanne Bryan, and she is on YouTube, and she just made it look so easy. And that's when I finally got the hang of German twisted cast on. So if you're having difficulty, look at her video on YouTube. I'll put the details below again. So that was it, German twisted cast on, 2-2 rib, and then I decided, I think the pattern I was looking at was a reverse, no, it was a garter stitch with a rib going up every, I don't know if it was every 12 stitches, something like that. But one row you knitted and the next row you had to purl all these stitches, which isn't really, not in the round anyway. So I decided, no, I'll do 6 stitches knit and then do a 2-stitch reverse rib. 2 stitches, purl one row, and then you just knit the whole row the next time, and then 2 stitches on this ridge part on the next row. So that's coming out quite nicely. The only thing is, I don't know what a beanie is supposed to look like.
Maybe you should have acquainted yourself with it.
Yeah, well,
before starting.
This is it, but now he likes slouchy beanies.
Let's hope that's what this is.
So I haven't actually started the crown shaping, so I'll just have to find a pattern that gives you slouch beanies. I'm using, my favourites, KnitPro Cubics. Am I right in saying that? KnitPro Cubics.
What size?
4mm. Absolutely brilliant. I love those. So that's that work in progress.
Just make him a hat that looks like the one Mr. Smee wears.
In Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Has it not got a big long pointy thing?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, actually does it. It's very long at the back and it's red.
Yeah,
He'd love that. He'd love that hat.
Oh, I don't know. So that's that anyway, so hopefully I'll get that finished before his birthday next week.
Yeah, let's hope so, otherwise he's going to have no knitted goods.
Well, that's right. But he might have a pair of socks.
He'll definitely have a pair of dull grey socks, possibly a second pair of black socks. And if I stayed up for 24 hours straight, I'm pretty sure I could manage to get a third pair using both those colours.
You might have to get that finished.
And blocked.
Although,
on a recent episode of Crazy Sock Lady that we were watching, she said she doesn't block her socks.
No, that's right, she said she didn't.
So why do I have to do that?
Well, it's nicer for presentation if you're giving somebody a gift.
Oh, okay.
I would say. You don't want to give them a big wrinkled mess.
Here's this wrinkled offering that I made for you. It'll fit.
I'm sure he would be quite happy to have it anyway. So.
Well, he'd be polite.
He'd be polite, yeah.
And then that would be it. They'd be stuck in a drawer.
Them again.
Never see them worn.
Oh dear.
What have you got?
My last work in progress.
Oh, let's hope he never actually watches this, or that's going to
no, well that'll give the game away, I know.
Well, not only that, but he'll see that we were talking about him and saying that he should get a Mr. Smee hat. Oops.
Anyway. This is I think everybody's doing the bean and olive adult sweater these days, and the children's one, and this is the one that I'm doing. I actually stole this coloured yarn out of our Etsy shop stash.
You didn't steal it.
I did.
It's your
I
yarn.
took it, but it should have stayed in the shop.
Requisitioned it for
I
yourself.
requisitioned it. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I could put it probably to better use. Maybe not. But the yarn at the top. This is the one that I spun for the Tour de Fleece that World of Wool were running in summertime. So I did a massive amount. Not so much of the. I think, is this oyster? I think it's oyster.
It's not oyster, no.
It is oyster, it's not mushroom.
It's not oyster. Oyster's a really light colour.
Well, what's this one then?
It might be fawn. Or possibly mushroom. But it's not oyster.
I don't think they have a mushroom.
It might be fawn.
Well, it might be fawn then.
It's not oyster.
No, and I'm not sure, now having been picked up on that, I'm not sure what the brown is either. I think
that might be...
That's that mocha.
Mocha,
I think that's mocha. So I thought, yeah, that would be nice, because I wanted something colourful. I'm not really known for wearing very colourful things, but I thought, yeah, bit of colour,
Your
bit
top,
of colour.
The top you're wearing is colourful.
These are all florals. Anyway, I decided I would requisition this hank of yarn, and it's come out really nice. At first I thought, oh no, it's going to be far too bright.
Oh, it's a bit bright.
It is. I did say that, didn't I? I said,
yes.
Oh, it's really bright. I don't think I'm going to like this. But the minute I put the mocha in with it at the bottom on the main body of the sweater, it seemed to calm it down, and I'm really pleased with it now.
I know all that was really missing from your, oh, it's a bit bright, I don't know if I can
really
wear
bright,
that, was
really
my eyes.
But I'm really happy with it, and see if you can see it close up. The colours in that yarn, that's a blend from our other fibre supplier, Wingham Wools, and they do the most wonderful blends, full of colour, and depending how you spin it, you can have it subdued or splashes of colour. So I sort of went for sort of a bit of this and a bit of that, and it's come out exactly as I wanted, and it's really brilliant with this mocha.
And the love hearts are,
the
you
love
can
hearts
tell
are
what
brilliant.
they are.
Yes,
they're really good.
Absolutely brilliant, and it's worked, of course, top down. German twisted cast on, my new favourite, and the collar, so really stretchy. That is brilliant. Look at the stretch.
And you've tried it on, so it
I
goes
have
over your
tried
head.
it on, yes.
But just now, you could just go about wearing it as a sort of little mini poncho type
thing. Yes, a little shoulder cape, something like that. Maybe not. So I'm using 4mm. Are these cubics? These aren't cubics. Oh no, these are lace needles. They are lace needles though, very pointy. And I'm just whizzing through it. It's brilliant.
Very good.
Another very easy. It's by Andrea Mowry.
Yeah.
Of course, I think everybody knows that anyway. A very easy sweater, and the instructions are wonderful. You cannot go wrong. I mean, if there's any place to go wrong, I do it. But no, I haven't gone wrong with this at all. It's absolutely fantastic.
You're a seasoned knitter. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, but even so, I'm not really accustomed to doing a lot of colour work. But this has given me the confidence to do another, maybe a Fair Isle yoke sweater.
So I think what I'm hearing here is, in your own way, you're saying, thank you, my daughter, for showing me all these new knitters that I can follow now, that have taught me new things and enlivened my wardrobe.
You didn't show me all of them.
Most of them.
Well, yeah, they did come up, yeah.
That's because it was all stuff that I wanted to make.
Because it's stuff you want to make.
So I thought, oh yeah, Mum can do it first.
Yeah, I'll do it first.
And then she'll tell me what to do.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. And then you keep saying to me, do you think I can do that?
I know, but
saying,
then,
no, maybe not quite yet.
No, because I feel you're a bit defeatist with my abilities.
No, because the problem is going to come. Because even now, we get, dropped a stitch.
I know.
Can you pick that up? I think I've not done something right here.
But
now, did I increase there, or is this an increased row?
But you should be happy that I'm able to identify that I've dropped a stitch, or that I can identify something doesn't look quite right in this sock.
Yes, that's progress actually.
Yes,
yeah.
And now I think I can tell when I've done an increase, because I've noticed under the second stitch or the first stitch there's the little thing.
Little bump.
The little bump, yes. I saw it in Very Pink Knits. She calls them umbrellas and smiles, which I thought was charming.
Yeah.
That's for when you're weaving in the ends.
Now, I don't know if anybody else does this, but I only do this little hint with fingering socks and toe up. On the first row, where I've cast on, I use Turkish cast on, or it might be magic cast on of some sort. It's difficult to say, I've been doing it for a long time, I've forgotten what it is exactly. I leave an extra long end, and then on my first round I weave in that long end every other stitch, so that it reinforces that first round of the toes, because I find that's where my toe is inclined to go through, and it makes it just a wee bit weaker. So this gets rid of that problem, and it makes it just a bit stronger. Don't know if I would do it for many more rows after that, but I suppose you could, unless you happen to feel that it's just a bit too lumpy, then don't do it so many.
But wouldn't that sort of make the toe misshapen?
No, it doesn't. Well, see, I do it on all of them. That toe is perfectly fine. And you can't actually feel, you can feel it slightly thicker, but it does give that wee bit reinforcement just at the pointy bit, where you're more inclined to get a bit wear through from your toe. So that's my little tip of the week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. What do we have next? Oh, the yarn that we've spun, and well, you've dyed. I've only just spun some yarn.
Well, see what you've been spinning.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You could hold that one, please.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Could you also hold this, please? Thank you. You're welcome. This is, I may have showed the second one of this before. It's a pastel rainbow type thing. That does it no service at all. It's merino, 100% merino. It's lovely and soft. I spun about 5 different colours in here. It's turned out to be a pastel rainbow, and this, I'm not sure what this is spun as. Is it sport? I think it's sport.
It looks like sport or fingering. It's quite fine.
Possibly sport.
Sport, I would say, yes.
Sport. This one is 480 yards, I think. I may have to keep this for myself. I don't know.
You don't have to. Yeah, this is what I get told.
I know, but I did a second one, which I think I showed the last time, and upon closer inspection I noticed there were twirly bits in it.
Slightly overplied.
Overplied. So I thought, well, I'm not going to put that in the shop. I'll just do the decent thing and keep it and make something from it. Yeah. And I've actually seen this. It's called the Groovy Shawl. I can't remember who it's by.
Oh yes, that's a lovely one.
It looks really easy because it has some rows purl and some rows just stockinette, and I thought I'd be able to manage that. So I'm going to do that in the other skein of this yarn, and I may need to use this one, so I'm not going to commit to putting it in the shop just yet. You may see it there, you may not. My second one, I've done 2 of these. This is a blend that one of our fibre providers did, and I've spun that up, and it's absolutely lovely, and I really considered keeping this for myself yet again.
You can't
but
keep everything.
I'm not going to do that.
Nice.
I think this is 4-ply, possibly light DK. But
yeah.
I don't really know. I'm not so good at DK. It's predominantly merino. It also has a smattering of tussa silk and some bamboo, and the colours Not sure how well those show up.
Yes, that's nice.
Sort of sea colours, they're absolutely lovely. It's blues and greens with little bits of white silk. Very pleased with that, so they will be going in our next update. And the last thing I've done, because obviously I've been consumed by socks this month, this is definitely for myself. I made this specifically as contrast heels and toes. And it's merino, soya, which is lovely and soft, bamboo, silk, tiny bit of alpaca. I mean, basically I crammed as much in as I possibly could and made it 4-ply, well, sport weight. And that's going to be contrast heels, toes and ribs to go with sort of like the pear green socks I made earlier. Those contrast bits. I've got another ball of that wool, and this is going to be the contrasts. That's me.
So that's you. Well, I have been spinning, but I've been spinning a lot of white wool with the intention of dyeing. So I've been doing a lot of dyeing. One that I particularly like is this dark mottled.
Oh, that's lovely.
Ooh, it's blues and beige. Let me see if I can. Oh, I've got the label. I put labels on things so that I can remember what they are and how I've actually performed the process. So this is, it's lovely. It's a lovely, and I can imagine it would make a wonderful hat.
Or socks.
Well, maybe not socks, because I don't think, is it superwash? No, it's South American wool, and I would say it's maybe a DK weight, but the colours have come out so nicely. Sometimes it's a complete surprise to me how colours appear. I put them in the pan thinking, oh, that's lovely, and then they dry out to be something totally different. But I'm very pleased with this, and I have 2 hanks of it. So it's meant to go in the shop.
It will be going in the shop.
But, you know, I know. It may be requisitioned, I don't know.
No, it will not be requisitioned. It's going in the shop.
This is another dye blend I did. Lovely. It's Falklands Superwash Merino. So that would be quite useful for socks or anything that you need to wash. There's no reason why you can't just use normal merino for socks. If it doesn't have nylon in, it won't wear as well, and you obviously have to hand wash it. The colours aren't really showing up as nicely on the camera as I would like, but it was a combination of greens and rusts and some black speckling, which has become quite nice. I like this very much, but I know that I won't be allowed to requisition it. So.
No.
So I can think of a lot of things I want to do with it, I would like to do with it, but it will be in the shop on the update day. Have we decided on an update date?
No, we haven't.
No, not yet. It'll be soon though.
Probably this weekend.
Probably this weekend. So there are 2 of those. This one is not so heavily speckled, but it's lovely. I'm sure the shop wouldn't miss one.
The shop would.
This is another dye lot.
And this one as well.
Is it that one too?
This one's got more bluey bits in it.
That one has more blue. I did put some blue in, but at the minute I'm absolutely carried away by this fabulous dye. It's by Dharma, and it's Cabernet.
Yes, that's such a gorgeous colour.
It's beautiful. I think it is showing up quite true to colour on the screen. It's red, and you can vary the depth of red. You can have pale pinks onto this, and it can go so dark it's almost black. It's a fabulous colour. I love it. I can see me doing a whole load of that for myself.
Yeah, I think this one is definitely more bluey, and it's also got sort of light violety lilac parts as well, which
that's where
one doesn't have
the blue
many.
And the Cabernet have combined with each other.
And is this 100% merino?
I'm No, that's is it Corriedale and milk fibre, or it might be merino and milk fibre. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up.
I think it's merino and
Is it
milk
merino
fibre.
and milk fibre?
Yeah, I mean, now
Yeah,
that you say milk fibre, I do recall that, but I think it's
did have
merino.
It's merino. It's not superwash, and it
No.
is a worsted weight.
Mhm.
That would make lovely cosy hats or anything you like, actually.
Mhm.
What else do I have? Where is the braid?
This one.
Oh yes, I have a customer who would like a hat, and she saw
These little mohair
the
locks.
mohair locks that I dyed. Was it before the last podcast?
It was the last one.
Last podcast, and she liked those, so she wants a hat done in these, incorporating the mohair. So I've dyed up the braid, ready to be blended.
So similar.
Well, they are similar because that is magenta. Magenta is another good strong colour that you get really dark, almost black, and the same has appeared in the mohair. The mohair takes dye really, really well.
Yeah.
You just have to keep an eye on it and not agitate it too much. But this is Polworth, and it's a beautiful soft fibre. It's lovely. So I think it will be nice for a hat, and it'll have a bit of strength in it.
Yeah, I think the customer is really going to like this.
I think she'll like this. So that's the task for this week coming. Get blending done. So is that all the dyeing I've been doing?
Oh, you've got that one.
I did this one, which is quite bright. This is Rambouillet. This is the first time I had tried Rambouillet, and it's so soft. I had no idea it was like this.
Yeah.
To me, it's actually softer than merino. It's beautiful.
Oh.
It's absolutely gorgeous, and it takes the dye so well. In fact, it takes it so well. My colours have come out a bit stronger than I anticipated.
But it's not bright.
It's not garish.
The turquoise is the brightest colour on it, I think.
The turquoise is, yes. The greens are beautiful. That, I think, was that sage green?
By Dharma.
That's Dharma sage. It's gorgeous. I love that colour. Dharma, sage and Cabernet. Plan for this week coming. That is pretty much all for the dyeing. Although there were several hanks of each, of course.
Yes.
I don't do things in ones. Right, so purchases?
Gifts to ourselves. Yes. Now, because I've been doing a lot of sock making, a bit too much, I probably think, I bought some sock yarn. This is my first purchase, which I absolutely love. I got this from an Etsy seller. I can't remember offhand, but I will put the details on the screen and below. And it's specifically sock wool. It's 25% nylon, I think, and the rest is merino, and it's 4-ply / sport weight. Lovely blues, turquoise, purple. Can't wait to do that, but I will have to wait because I've started so many already. Second gift, and I am loving this one. This is Malabrigo, and this is I'll show you. It's called, the colourway is number 416. Indicita. I may be saying that wrong. And it's full of greens, a touch of purpley, some blues in there. It's just gorgeous, full of gorgeousness. That will be made into socks.
I could button here because my one is also Malabrigo. And this one is, I think it's purples and red, and it's not showing up very well. Oh, there you go. A nice sagey green, and my one is called Rayon Vert.
Yes.
Number 854. Socks.
And these, I forgot to say that I've just looked at the label. It's 100% superwash, and it's fingering weight 440 yards. That's plenty for socks. So that was some really good purchasing there. Also, fun does not stop there. This is DK by, well, it's called The Croft, and it's a DK Tweedy wool by West Yorkshire Spinners. This colourway is called Skelister, and it's absolutely lovely.
It's nice, that's lovely, that one.
And I thought the pink one was really good because it's a dark pink. I also got a blue one, which is going to be a lot of fun, and a third one, which is this greeny one. Very much looking forward. This one's called Hillside. Sorry, I should have told you the colour names. This one is Hillside, and the blue one is Northdale, and the pink one was called Skelister. And the last one of, well, not the last one, I've also got Regia. This is Arna and Carlos.
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
You got Fall Night.
Yes.
I got Summer Night. That is going to make lovely socks. You can see the picture there of what it should turn out like.
Yeah,
Oh, I really cannot wait.
Yeah.
It's just magical how these yarns kind of
I don't know how they do it.
I don't know. I mean, you couldn't possibly replicate it if you did it yourself.
You would have to unravel it all and have a look and see, but would you want to when it's so easy just to buy it?
No, you
and it's
wouldn't
all
want
been
to.
done for you. The most useful purchase we've made recently
Oh yes, this is good.
This, the wonderful sock roller. I mean, it's revolutionised the way I knit socks because all you do is for toe up, you just pop it straight in, and I know that I like to be 6 1/4 inches, so put it straight in, no counting rows, you don't need to count. When the needle gets up to there, that's it, that's me done, ready for the heel. And same with after you've done the heel, if you know how long you want the leg to be, put that into your heel, count and look at it, measure it up, and there you go.
Yeah, for example, mine was, I think it was almost 18 centimetres, was it?
See, I still work in inches.
Yeah, so do I, but I find I was coming in at 18 centimetres for myself, and my brother's measurement was 7 3/4 inches. So that has been really good. For the first sock, I measured it on I got myself one of these, measured it on mine, marked his measurements. So for the second sock, all I have to do is knit up to there.
Yeah, it's up to that. It's a brilliant idea.
Excellent purchase.
Yeah.
I'll put down below where we got those. I think it was on eBay.
Was it eBay?
But I'll link the shop.
Yeah. Well, that's all for our purchases. One of us has been frugal and the other hasn't.
I think it equals out eventually. I mean, there are some months where I hardly spend anything, really. I don't know what month that was, but
I can't think of it.
Recently, perhaps not, because since I discovered... See, I've always been a paper crafter. For many years I've been a paper crafter, and I have a workroom that attests to my love of paper and its accoutrements. I have many things. But now, since I've discovered fibre, that's just one more thing that I've become slightly obsessed with, and I can't help it. Once I've got something, I fixate on it and I have to buy everything that I need for it, and then it just gets a bigger and bigger stash. But I will work through it.
I hope so.
I will.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm inclined to buy equipment.
Yes.
That will be useful to what we do. So that's what I do. Mind you, it's more expensive than buying a ball of wool, so it works out.
Equals out, really.
Equals out. I know. Best not say what we've got our eye on next.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We won't mention that.
Why not? It's good to have goals.
An electric drum carder.
Electric drum carder. If you, yeah.
No,
if you've
I'm
never
not gonna think
used
about
a
it.
drum carder, it's basically a drum. The name is not misleading at all, and it cards your fibre into bats. So you have to crank the lever, and it'll feed your fibre through, and out comes this lovely fibre at the end of it that
ready
you've
for
mixed
spinning.
together. But an electric one takes away the need for operating any of it yourself. You just put in your fibre and it churns it along, and out it comes ready to use.
You could card a massive great bat for almost half a sweater's worth at one go. So it's really time saving and something to aim for.
Yes, well, let's keep that in mind.
Yeah. What have we been watching, reading lately?
Well, that's a good question, well asked. Who wants to go first?
Well, mine won't take long because, well, I watch limited things. I like to finish programmes before I go on to another one, unlike somebody who watches 20 different things at one go. The drama, well, it's not a drama really, Elementary. It's the modern version of Sherlock Holmes, and it's on Prime.
Starring
Johnny
Lee Miller. Johnny Lee Miller as
Johnny
Sherlock
Lee
Holmes
Miller.
and Lucy Liu.
Lucy
If that is indeed how you pronounce her last name, as Watson.
And I quite enjoy it. It's amazing to see how they figure things out, and things that should be obvious to everybody, but it's not. But it's very obviously to Sherlock Holmes. He figures out what's going on and who the culprit is and all the rest of it. So that's quite fascinating. I like that. The other thing I've been watching is National Geographic documentary about the supercars. Still on that. Now I want a Lamborghini.
Oh.
That car, amazing.
Oh.
You think, what sort of speed do people claim? 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. Well, my car doesn't do that. But I love my car, so anyway, I don't care. Lamborghini, 0 to 60, 2.6 seconds. Where would you be if you tried to put your foot down on that? I'd just be sitting at the curb somewhere.
Yeah.
In pieces, probably. Amazing car, absolutely beautiful. But as one of the commentators said, what is going to happen when fossil fuels are phased out? How are they going to achieve those sort of speeds in an electric car? Who knows? I'm sure they'll find some way around it, but the lifespan of these cars is limited now. But lovely cars, beautiful cars.
But they're also very low, are they not?
They are quite low. I may get in, but I doubt if I'd get out.
Yeah.
I'd have to live in it forever. And also, I mean, to give it the benefit that it needs, where would you go to drive that car at the speeds that it's capable of? You just couldn't.
I don't know. Well, certainly not in Edinburgh, which is mostly a 20 mile an hour zone
It's
now.
20 miles, some part of Edinburgh. Even on motorways, 70 miles an hour speed limit. It's just, I don't know, it's a pipe dream really. I wouldn't want one. I like looking at them, but I wouldn't want one. Apart from the cost.
Yes.
So that's basically what I've been watching. We're listening to audiobooks, Sherlock Holmes again. And we're also watching Sherlock Holmes
on Netflix.
The one with Benedict.
You can do it. You can do it. What's his last name?
Cumberbatch.
Very good.
There you go, see. And it's brilliant. Love it.
Who's Watson?
I don't know.
Oh God, I've forgotten.
You've forgotten. Yeah.
Martin Freeman.
Oh yes, Martin Freeman. I saw him in something else.
The Hobbit.
No, but he was on something else. Was it not an Australian drama about zombies or something?
I don't know.
I think it might have been. But yeah, he's good as well. I mean, they're all very good actors, and of course, who was the landlady?
Una Stubbs.
Who sadly died recently. Oh, she was brilliant in everything she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was pretty much a national treasure.
Oh, she was, very much, yes. A really lovely person and actor. So anyway, that's what I've been watching.
Okay, I've been watching a number of things. Most recently, I've gone through the Star Wars universe. I started at episode 1, and which is basically just the formation of how the Empire came to be and Darth Vader's origin story. And it was interesting to see how, I remember at the time this was released, Jar Jar Binks was pretty much reviled by everybody that had seen it, and they completely slated the first Star Wars episode because they said he was the most annoying character ever and more annoying than Ewoks, although I didn't find Ewoks that annoying. But in the first episode he talks so much, and it was interesting to see that in the second episode of Star Wars he was pretty much muted throughout. He got about 3 or 4 lines to say, and even Padme cut him off at one point, so that was good. And I am now on, what am I on? I've seen The Force Awakens, and I'm at the very end of the one after that, whose name I utterly cannot remember. I've also been watching The Walking Dead from season 1. I finished Downton Abbey. That was absolutely fantastic. And then I went on to watch the Downton Abbey film, which is available on Netflix. Great addition. What else have I been watching? Only Murders in the Building on Disney Plus. That's surprisingly good. I've never really been a fan of Selena Gomez, but she's okay in that. She's very sort of stoic throughout. Not one-dimensional stoic, but she's a very calm kind of person in this, and the other two, Steve Martin and Martin Short, are quite excitable, so that's interesting to see their interplay. And I've basically just been watching Disney Plus. That's it.
I've not been watching much else because really I'm a very busy person.
Are you?
I'm like the one that gets her needles out and sits and watches all these programmes.
While I'm knitting,
you
while I'm knitting
can't
socks.
watch it when you're dyeing and stuff.
No.
Because the steam goes for it.
Mm-hmm.
You could be watching anything.
Exactly, but while you're knitting umpteen pairs of socks, I think it's...
Well, you need something to do.
You need to be entertained.
Yeah, don't blame you there.
And what have I been reading? I read Getting Wild by Jen Stark. I finished that, it was really good. And I was about 3 pages into the second book, Wild Card, I'm sure it was Wild Card, when on my Kindle was delivered the Hawthorne Legacy. And that's by, what's her name? Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And it's the second volume of the Inheritance Games. It's about this unknown girl called Avery. I think it's Avery, not Avery. Is it Avery?
I would think Avery.
I think Avery. Yeah. And she discovers that she's an heiress. Someone's left her billions and billions of pounds, well, dollars. And in order to claim her inheritance, she has to go and stay in the mansion with the family for no less than a year. And it's basically everything leading up to that and finding out things that have happened. It was actually really good. And the second book, the Hawthorne Legacy, there's a lot of delving into the family mystery and things that have gone on. And is there murders? Is there tomfoolery going? It's really good. She's a great writer. So I would thoroughly recommend that. I think there's going to be a third one.
Sorry, I'm laughing at tomfoolery.
There is tomfoolery.
I know. I seem to remember tomfoolery in a lot of books I used to read.
I'm not sure what you mean by tomfoolery.
The word, tomfoolery. It's not really a modern word, is it?
No, but Jennifer Lynn Barnes doesn't use the word tomfoolery. I'm just saying, in the book, tomfoolery is afoot.
Yes.
Abound, even. Tomfoolery abounds. I'm glad you found that entertaining.
You see, it's more like me to come out with these sort of words.
Well, bring back these old
Yeah,
words. That's
yeah,
what I
old
say.
words, yeah. Yeah, they describe in one word a whole scenario, really.
Like skullduggery.
Skullduggery.
That's a good
Yes.
one. Oh, speaking of, there's a book called Skullduggery Pleasant that I downloaded and have yet to read. It's some sort of mystery thing, but that looks quite good. I think it's
Yes.
perhaps aimed at the younger generation,
Hmm.
which is not me anymore.
Mm.
That's about it.
That's it.
A bit light on the
Yeah.
reading.
Hmm. I think that's all we've been up to this past few weeks. We'll have to try and do our next podcast a bit quicker. We seem to have
I think we said that the last time.
I know, it gets longer and longer. Right, we'll try for a shorter time length.
Let's say 3 to 4 weeks. Because it definitely will not be 2 weeks.
Not 2 weeks, no.
Also, we should have said this at the beginning. Welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you're rejoining us.
Yes, and if you're enjoying these podcasts, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notifications button.
And leave a comment.
Oh, please leave comments. We love comments.
We do love comments.
Yes. Well, we like looking at comments on other podcasts, so that would be nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's us for the moment.
That's us for the moment. So keep safe. Things are still not great.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. No, so we just have to all be very careful and take care of each other and stay safe. And happy crafting.
Yes, happy crafting.
Let us know what you're all working on. That would be nice. Yeah. So see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready now.
Is that your face?
Yes.